Experience a crystal healing and frequency tuning to unlock and regain personal empowerment and control over your own reality.
How does the feeling of failure, particularly among divorced women or single mothers, influence behaviors or thought patterns that may be keeping them single? And how can that inner narrative be written or healed?
I feel sad sometimes when I watch social media and I see angry black women, bitter black women, ratchet black women. And all of it is related to the stress that that group of people, and you notice I haven't even gotten into the black men, it's the black women. We are supposed to be demure, soft, feminine, filled with joy, nurturing, kind. This is what our ancestors, our forefathers on the continent, all indigenous groups embodied those attributes. Yeah? But there was so much different back then when community and family were the foundations of your very existence. So the men knew what they had to do, they were the providers, and the women knew what they had to do, nurture, feed, and take care of the family. We still have the institution of marriage, but we do not have the support of community and family in the way that we did 200, 300 years ago, 100 years ago even. So we are conditioned through religion to honor sanctity of marriage. But there's always been a philosophical separation between church and state, where the church is saying one thing and the state, the system is saying another. What the church is saying and what the system demands will not allow what the church says to persist with respect to marriage. So now we are seeing it was common for people to get married once they were 19, 20, and they started having children by 21, 22. And by the time they're 30, their children are teenagers and the family is knitted and there is structure and continuity. Now we see women having to leave relationships and marriages sometimes because they're simply not sustainable, because the men aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and then they push this whole thing about independent black women and professional black women, and everybody's all about, oh, I can do that all by myself. I can provide, since I'm providing and you're not providing, I can do this by myself. And so what we're having now is the imbalance, the not having the masculine and the feminine principle coming together to make this house a home, make this home a family. With respect to the corporate profile and how we need to recalibrate our identities. Again, it goes back to the material and the hustle culture and feeling that success is defined by how high I climb on the ladder, corporate ladder, how much money I'm earning, what kind of house I live in, what kind of handbag I carry, what kind of car I drive. If we can start to rewrite the narrative so that the parameters for success sound more like happiness, true happiness, peace, tranquility, grace, integrity, dignity, then we're going to have a completely different ball game. And this is where we need to be going. So when women divorce, there is a disappointment, almost shame, and a sense of failure that they were not able to achieve what the church and society expected. I see a little shift recently where people are actually celebrating divorce right now and saying, girl, good on you to get out of that. And I understand to some extent why that is, because some of the reasons why people leave marriages is because of domestic violence, which for many years, centuries perhaps, women were quite okay staying in a marriage that had violence in it because that's what she thought she had to do. Things have changed now with communication and social media and advocacy and so on. Women are standing up for themselves and walking away if it's too violent. But coming back to this whole issue of feeling like they have failed because of divorce, it's for only one reason: what we've been conditioned by religion to believe, that divorce is bad, divorce is wrong. We're right now at this juncture in a situation where these cycles of silence and suffering, these women are actually not failing, they're succeeding because they're breaking those cycles of suffering in silence in a marriage. And so I think it's important for us to be careful with how we rewrite the narrative so that it's not a failure. It's self-preservation and self-care, because you are worthy of having a beautiful life without anybody being violent towards you or abusing you. Yeah? So I think it's really our duty as persons who are aware of what is happening all over the world in different cultures, in different spaces. It's our duty as women to come together and rewrite the narrative that we want to start um, living and experiencing right now, where we no longer look at divorce as a failure, but rather uh, embodying your self-worth. And so this is the way the narrative needs to be shifted at this time. So we have a beautiful opportunity right now to do that, especially among Black women